Hi folks, Nathan Pierce here with Family Protection Ministries. We are going to be talking about a couple of bill updates today, and we have a couple of other events coming up that I wanted to make sure you are aware of. But before I do that, I also want to draw your attention to a new podcast that has just launched today, and so we'll be talking a little bit about that as well. So let's get into it.
Welcome to the Front Line with FPM, where we talk about California politics, homeschool freedom, parental rights, and the family. I'm your host, Nathan Pierce, and thanks for joining us today. Let's jump right in and see what's going on here on the Front Line.
All right, let's talk about this podcast that just launched yesterday. This is a podcast by CHEA of California. And the great thing to me about the beginning of this podcast that CHEA has launched is that my wife got to be the first guest on the podcast. So if you're interested, there's definitely going to be some great stories and great encouragement over there at CHEA's new podcast. And hopefully you can check that out. But definitely starting with my wife, who's an incredible homeschool mom, an incredible wife, and just has some incredible encouragement to share with others. So hopefully you can check that out over there at CHEA's YouTube channel or where you get your podcasts. And that is a really exciting new thing. This is also launching right before CHEA's annual convention, which is happening just next week in Southern California at the Biola University campus. So I would encourage you to check that out if you can make it. And I will be speaking there as well as my wife. And some of our kids are going to be helping out with our booth there. So come by and say hi at the Family Protection Ministries booth at the CHEA convention. We'd love to see you, and look forward to the event as well, because there's both the general convention as well as free MiniCon for new homeschool folks. So that's happening next Thursday evening. So that's a really great opportunity if you're new to the homeschool community, new to the homeschool world. It's a great great opportunity to learn about homeschooling and get started. But also the leadership conference is happening on Thursday as well. Thursday morning, starts in the morning and goes through about 2 p.m. So I'd encourage you to check that out if you're involved in leadership or interested in taking on a leadership role in your homeschool community. Check that out as well, because it's always a very encouraging place to go to connect with other leaders in the homeschool community, as well as hear from great encouraging speakers. I'm excited about some of the speakers, especially this year. So come on out and take a little sabbatical and visit the CHEA convention, the CHEA Leadership Conference, and we'd love to have you visit that. So that's coming up next week. And one more thing I wanted to mention, the government class that I am doing this fall that you can join in person or remotely. That class typically is $120 per student, and there is a promotion right now that if you sign up for that as a CHEA member, you will get 50% off of that class. So I would encourage you to join CHEA, become a member of CHEA, and sign up for the government class for your high school students. If you don't have a high school student this year, you can still apply for a future year. The class has filled up fast in the past couple of years, so if you do want to apply for next year or the year after, that option is available currently on our website to sign up for that class now. So I would encourage you to do that, and it's a great opportunity for young people to learn not just about government and economics, but also for them to learn how they can impact government and economics. So it's a really great opportunity for young people to learn some practical tools that they can make use of in real life for God's glory. And now for a legislative update, I want to give you an update on a couple of bills and also let you know that it's been pretty nutty with Hell Month. As crazy as April is, it is not really over. A couple of years ago, April, known as the craziest month of the year, started extending longer, starting earlier and extending longer. And that's definitely the case this year, where we have a lot of bills still trying to cram through at the last minute to make certain deadlines before they die. So there's a lot of bills that are getting gutted and amended right now, and a lot of bills that are kind of getting
forced through committee, whether they have the language or not. So it's a little bit crazy trying to keep up with all of that going on. So let me give you a couple of updates here. One bill, AB 1454 by Rivas, is a bill that we had been tracking previously because it had to do with making sure that HVAC systems were up to par with state standards for all schools, including private schools. And the wording was such that it would be vague enough for the inspectors to not worry about private homeschooling, but we were watching it anyway and involved in the discussions about the bill. This has come up before in bills relating to school structures and infrastructure of how school buildings work, and also whether it's power or water, things like this. This bill did not specifically specify homeschool homes, and the author did not intend for it to include that. However, this bill has now been completely gutted and amended, and it has to do with literacy in public schools. Probably something that public schools need help with. Certainly, we know that public schools have a lot of literacy issues and other concerns that the Department of Ed, as well as individual teachers, need to be working on trying to come up with solutions for these various issues, both in California and across the country, but especially here in California, we know that that's a major problem. So we won't need to worry about that bill anymore because it's, in particular now, it's only addressing literacy within public school programs. So that's that bill, so we don't need to worry about that anymore. Let's talk now about AB 84. AB 84 is a bill that deals with charter schools and does add quite a lot of new restrictions for charter schools. This bill has gotten a lot of attention across the state and definitely has been a hot topic here in the Capitol. I think that it would be important to note here that while this bill does not impact private homeschooling directly, it does impact a lot of folks in the broader, what is generally and widely considered the homeschool community, those that are teaching their kids through a public school charter program that has a lot of restrictions from the government already. And this is another example of how programs that are funded by the government continue to get more and more restrictions as time goes on. Charter schools, as originally planned, were a more flexible form of public education programs, a more parent, family, community-friendly version of a public school. And over time, they have increasingly become more regulated and made to look more like the traditional public schools. They still have a home-based program in some of those schools. However, they are continually getting more and more restrictions, and so they are becoming less and less desirable and less friendly towards communities, families, and parents. So this is just the latest in this long line of bills. We have reported on a number of those in the past. In this particular case, these bills are this particular bill, AB 84, while it doesn't address private homeschooling, it does add a lot of new restrictions. Now, it was just amended just a few days ago, but at the same time, it didn't change any of the, it does still impact significantly charter schools. It does impact families that participate with charter schools and use those, but it still does not directly impact private homeschooling. Now, some people have asked still that is it going to our private homeschoolers next? Because this bill is targeting where government funds are going, it's not a very clear direct link from from this type of bill affecting charter schools to this type of bill affecting private schools and private homeschools. There's a pretty big difference there, and there's a big reason why government schools are getting more scrutiny. It's because they're funded by government funds, and they want to know where that money is going. And the California Teachers Association, for sure, is involved in wanting more restrictions for charter schools because they view that as sort of undermining their structure of how the traditional public schools function. So you will continue to see a lot of
people up in arms about this bill, AB 84, and rightly so, because it is a government intrusion into education, which should be in the hands of parents, but has been that authority has been usurped by the government. And when you have families taking advantage of these programs and having this sort of competition for the authority in education, you will always have more government trying to battle over and gain more control over the family, as they have as government has put themselves in the position of parent of those kids that are in these programs. So it's not going away. This is another step in the direction of more and more government control over charter schools and education in the state of California. And so we're not going to see that change. We're going to see more and more bills like this because that's the way these programs work, and that is what the driving forces are wanting to see, is more restriction. So that's it on AB 84. If you are in a private homeschool, you will not see trouble with this directly, but it will affect a lot of families that are using charter schools. So thanks so much, and that's it on AB 84.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of The Front Line with FPM. For more information about the topics we discuss here, check out Family Protection Ministries at fpmca.org and subscribe to our channel.